This is a Read Me First video to try to give you a little bit of an orientation of how the next 7 weeks are going to go with this online course in organizational behavior. The book we're going to use, Contemporary Organizational Behavior, is going to be a great tool to give us structure for the course. However, the course is going to have interactive YouTube videos, some discussions, some assignments, and it's not going to be a lot of work that you can't do in 7 weeks. It's very doable, but there's a lot of reading and there's a lot of participation in the class. Let me explain the field of organizational behavior and the way this particular book and the course is going to be set up. Um, the first, they don't call, in this particular book, as you notice, they don't call them chapters, but more or less they're sections. It's a little different orientation. For example, in this book, section one is going to include chapter, I should say, not chapter, right? Um, section one is going to include part one, which is an introduction, and it's going to cover the first summary topic or the overall meaning of organizational behavior. What is it? We'll be discussing that in Module 1. Also, in Module 1, we're going to be discussing um, topic number 2, which is individual characteristics. In organizational behavior, the way it kind of works is we start with the individual, and then from the individual, we go to the group, and you put all the groups together, and that makes up the entire organization. When we get into Module 2, that will be topic number 3, and that's going to be about learning. Now, this isn't something you will usually see in any type of a textbook on management called learning. But the true concept of leadership is different than management. Management is an ends to a means. Leadership in organizational behavior is connected to a continuing learning process. We constantly learn from many resources, but also from each other. Topic number 4 in Module 2 is going to be about perception. You know, sometimes the way we perceive things aren't the way they really are, and our perceptions are based on our values. So obviously, the farther away our perceptions from reality, the bigger the problems are going to be in the organization. The next part of the book, it has to do with leading and leadership processes in organizations, and there we will be migrating to Module 3. The topic summary, which will be number 5, is going to be about leadership, and I just kind of touched on leadership. Topic summary for Module 3, number 6, is going to be on motivation. If individuals are not motivated in the company that they're working in, they're not going to be as efficient and effective as we would want them to be. So, kind of makes sense to put leadership and motivation together, because with the proper leadership, we have the right motivated individuals that we need to do the job. And of course, motivation has to do with culture. So we're going to be talking about that in Module 3, as well as topic number 7, which is going to be about persuasion, influence, and what we refer to as impression management. As we continue to migrate, still in Part 3, leading and leadership processes in organizations, we're going to be moving on to Module 4, and that will be section topic summary number 8, and that's going to be on decision making. Sometimes decisions take too long to make, and sometimes they're too spontaneous. They're not as effective as we want them to be. So, we're going to be talking about the process of decision making, including critical thinking. We're still on Module 4, and we're going to go to Part 4 of the book, and that is going to be on interpersonal processes in organizations. This has to do a lot with culture, how we interact with one another. So, topic summary number 9 in Module 4 is going to be on groups and teams. How do we work with one another? As we all know, and as we've learned, the chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we want to learn about groups and teams, and then we move on to module number 5, and that is going to be summary or section number 10, which is going to be conflict and negotiations. How do we get over conflicts in companies? How do we negotiate so that we can all get on the same page and solve problems and come up with solutions amicably? Then we move on to module number 5. Another section in 5 has to do with diversity and communication. You know, diversity is the heart of operations now. We're in such a global type of environment, and we need to be able to work and understand different cultures and know how we can use our differences as commonalities to work together. Moving on to the last section, which is part number 5, and that is about organizational processes. And we're going to be in Module 6, and Module 6 is going to be all about culture, which I've been talking about. Still in Module 6, and we're going to be going to section number 13, that is going to be about change, innovation, and stress. Oh my gosh, how do we deal with stress in an organization when change occurs? Normally, people don't like to come out of their comfort zone, so we're going to be talking about that. Then finally, moving on to Module 7, which is kind of a wrap-up of everything. That is going to be summary section number 14, which is going to be about corporate social responsibility. Every organization needs to be responsible, ethical, and be able to sustain themselves. So those are essentially the 7 modules, and all the dates for each module that we'll be working online are going to be there for you to do. Now, the other thing that I want you to remember is that the first thing that you're going to do whenever you get online is read the announcements. The announcements are a guide to where everything is and what, sometimes I decide something's really good. I want to put it up for you to see. It'll show up in the announcement, or the announcement will tell you where it's going to be positioned. What I want you to do. The other thing is that every link on the left-hand side of your page is very clear to read. I think it's really important. The first thing you're going to see is a bio blog. You know about me, read about my bio, but tell me a little bit about yourself and what you want to get out of this course. As soon as you get online and this course is available to you, go in and put in the blog. The more we know about each other, the better we're going to be able to simulate that classroom environment, although we're not physically there with one another. I use a lot of webcam videos like this to explain things, YouTube videos to explain some of the concepts, some more difficult than others, and the testing is very easy. You have also a link for the syllabus. You can go in and take a look at the syllabus. But the syllabus more than likely is going to be in sync with what you see on your modules week to week. All you got to worry about is the module for that week. Everything you need will be inside that little folder. Module 1 will have all the dates. Module 2 will have all the dates. Module 3 of all the information we're going to cover. All you got to do is go inside that folder. So that's kind of the overview of everything. I look forward to working with all of you. Oh, one final thing. Please do not send me assignments in an email. I cannot upload to Blackboard. It's the only way I can grade. It's a grade book. So if you send me assignments in an email, I'm just going to bounce it back to you and say, okay, this assignment was due on a certain date. You got to watch your due date windows. Remember, we're online. So if you're in a classroom and you do a test, when time's up, time's up. The test gets turned in. Online, you got to treat it the same way. So you have to be on your game and paying attention to the announcements, knowing when your assignments are due. But this course will be very doable for you. I'm always here. And by the way, my cell phone number and my text are on your syllabus. So you can always text or call me and let me know you're a Wentworth student. And if you got a question, I'm as close as the phone. Have a wonderful, wonderful course and look forward to working with each and every one of you. Professor DeChico.